All right, welcome to Beyond the Noise with Holly and Kat, where we help women stop living on autopilot and start trusting themselves again.
Here we'll share real stories of personal growth, breakthroughs, and learning to step into who we truly are so you are able to do the same.
Yes, so welcome to the show. This is our first episode. So today we just thought we would talk a little bit about why we started this podcast and what you're going to find here as we go along. And yeah, just share a little bit about our story so you can get a feel for who we are.
Yeah, we'll be going into so many different topics because I think I'll let Holly speak for herself, but yeah, we both share the common ground of wanting to share more personal growth perspectives, I guess you could say, and stories, because a lot of what is out there, there's a lot of information around personal development or personal growth, whatever you want to call it. But I find that there's not so much content out there that really grounds the information and has it come from more of an embodied place through sharing real life examples and stories. So it's not going to be just we're talking at you and sharing, like, learn to do things like this or like have this perspective and why that's important. Like that is still good information to have. But we want to ground the information with, yeah, personal experiences that we have had along the way. For any of those out, those of you out there who know about human design, Holly and I are both three lines. So sharing our experience and our trial and error through throughout our lives is what it's all about. So, uh,
Can I add to that really
of
quick?
course. Yeah, yeah,
That,
yeah.
yeah, there is a lot of information out there of people telling you what to do. Do it this way, do it like this. And again, that's great and all. There's a time and place for that, but there's not enough people out there saying, return to self, go within. What is your body telling you? What is your intuition telling you? And this is something Kat and I both have had to learn again through our own experiences of we've taken in all the information, we've taken on all the outside noise, and sometimes that makes things worse. Sometimes
Hmm.
you go down this path because you think that's what you should do. And sometimes that works, but it doesn't work all the time. And it can also just leave you more confused than you started. And so we want to help women really return to themselves, reconnect with themselves so that you're making decisions from an aligned place and you're creating the life that you want, not, the life that someone told you you should have. And so that you're living your life in a way that feels good to you. Because if you know human design, none of us are alike. We all have different ways of being, and what works for someone out there that's saying to do it this way and that's the only way actually may not be the way that's for you. So we want to just bring a different perspective to this whole the personal growth sector. We're going to talk about health, relationships, etc., career, and how to really tune back into yourself so that you can create all the things that you want and it feels good. It feels like it's in alignment with your truth.
Yeah, well said. Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
think you're welcome. Yeah, Holly and I together have, yeah, quite a history. We each have been through so many, such different journeys. I mean, as we all have, right? So I think bringing to light those different experiences and those different journeys will just really ground all these things. And we're really gonna hit it. Um, in all angles, truly make this like a holistic experience of talking about everything from health and wellness, mindset stuff. We'll dig into, like I said, we're human design nerds, so we know a bit about human design and really believe in it. So we'll bring some of that to the table. We're bringing some jinky stuff. But and if you don't know what any of that is, that's totally okay. That's, a small sliver of the pie. We'll discuss money, we'll discuss family, we'll discuss all kinds of topics. And again, our whole intention is to really, yes, discuss all these things, but really discuss it in a grounded, practical, down to earth kind of way, which is something that I really just haven't seen. So today I'm a coach. Holly's also a coach. Um, and yeah, we've really taken our life experiences to share it with others and just be a guide, a coach who's like maybe one step ahead of somebody else to just be that guiding light for them. So for me, why I wanted to start something like this is for many, many reasons, but one main one is I watched my mother go through her life and be really unhappy. And I was talking with her the other day and I was asking her what her favorite decade was. And she was kind of going through each decade and just saying how each one was not, she didn't enjoy. And then so my mom is, she just turned 69. So she's almost 70. And I think when she said when she hit 65 is when, like, once she retired, is when she entered the happiest time of her life. And I really, we're all on a different journey. We all are here to have our own life experiences, and this can hit us at different points in time. But I guess my point is I want to help people live the life that they really want to be living so that they can be joyous in their life as early as possible, to
Yeah.
kind of hit that as soon as possible. And it doesn't really matter what your age is now. You could also be 65 right now and listening to this, and that's okay. The point is to reach it at some point in your life. I really believe that, you know, when we're born, things are like this. We're like, this is our soul self, and we are truly deeply connected to our soul self. And then the minute we're born, especially depending on how you're born, that is when the separation begins. And it's through like different life experiences that come in, family, friends, school, like who knows, But different life experiences, we start to separate from our authentic selves. And I think if we're really lucky, somewhere along your journey, you realize that that separation has been made, and then begins the journey of coming back to your authentic self. And I call this experience, when you start reconnecting, the you know you're in the game and you've learned how to now play the game. Whereas, like, during that separation period is kind of when the game is playing you, and maybe there's some victimhood in there. Um, yeah, so it's all about learning to play the game and then deciding to play the game versus being played by it. And so that is the intention, for me, for wanting to start a podcast.
Yeah, I love that analogy. It's so true because you can feel like you're being played by this game of life that and you can feel kind of like this is just what it is and I've got to go along with it. But the truth is we all have a choice in the matter and we can make changes to that really at any point. Yeah, and for myself, I think part of me wanting to do this podcast and actually, here goes my dog. 1 second, because I'm going to let him in or he's going to scratch at the door.
Yeah, let little Phoenix in. But yeah, well said, Holly.
Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that. So, what was I
Do
saying?
you have Phoenix next to you?
Oh, he just got in
Oh,
his.
oh, I was gonna say you should show
Well,
show him.
I
That's
would.
okay.
He's in his
A little
comfy chair.
king. Yeah.
He thinks he's a king. So yes, so I think for me, being having the third line in my profile, I've had a ton of trial and error in my life. Certainly as an adult. And I think I feel this like responsibility to share what I've learned through my experiences because I've just having been in the coaching space for the last several years. I've seen so many people feel alone in their struggles, feel alone in the experiences they're going through. And the truth is, they're not alone. So many of us are experiencing the same thing and going through the same thing. But when you can hear how someone else navigated that, it can really help you in your journey, because I know there's been those people for myself, like, oh, this person went through that and I'm going through it now. And like that helped me get through it. So part of it is, I think, just being able to share like the wisdom that I've gained, and not saying I have it all figured out by any means, but there is a lot of stuff that I've been through that I feel like I could share here in this podcast and help someone else and help them navigate that, or maybe prevent some of the things that I've had to go through to learn that. And the biggest thing for me that I've learned through a lot of my experiences is learning to trust myself. And the more that I realize how much I didn't trust myself, it's like I can so easily see that in other people where they're not trusting themselves. So if I can get on here and share and provide someone else that permission slip to trust themselves again, then by all means, I'm going to do that, because I think that is one of the biggest things to living your most fulfilling life, is trusting yourself and making decisions from that place. So, yeah, that's really part of why I wanted to do this. And the other part is like, I think there's a lot of people out there talking about your healing journey and your personal growth journey and all that. And it seems so serious. It seems so heavy. And I'm like, it really doesn't have to be. This doesn't mean you can't live life if you are on a healing journey, or if you are going through a really difficult time. Maybe you're struggling in a relationship or struggling in your health. The more like heavy and serious we make it, it's almost like the harder it is to get through it. And that's something I've had to learn personally. And so if we can, help other people feel less alone and help them feel like, hey, this is just part of life, and let's like make it fun and simplify and make it easier to get through, then yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
about. So
I love that, Holly. That was well said. Yeah, well, first, just to reflect a couple of things, I completely agree. I think self-trust is at the heart of all of this kind of work. Uh, with self-trust also comes self-love. They are intertwined. And once you build that up, then the safer you'll be in your own body, and then you'll be able to be in an authentic space. You'll be able to express yourself authentically, show up authentically. We all wear so many different masks, and we all do it. And it's also too part of human nature, right? Like you're gonna act different at work with your coworkers than you do with your friend, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's totally understandable, but still bring out an authentic version of you and speaking your truth. All of that is super important. And I think the way to get to true authenticity is through learning to trust yourself. And then that also builds confidence, that builds courage. It's kind of just like the foundational building block to all these other things that can really help you blossom. And self-trust is a big topic that we'll get into. We'll do in one of our earlier episodes. But um, yeah, so I completely agree. I guess our point is that there's a lot of noise out there, but like what you said, Holly, just making it fun and light. Like it doesn't have to be just because you're doing work on yourself, or even saying it like that kind of makes it sound a little bit heavy, but like it's work, you know?
right,
Um, but it's
it's a
it
journey.
doesn't have to be that at all. And in fact, I find it so fun. That's another reason why we're doing this podcast, is because it's fun to have these discussions. It all starts with the awareness. And that's a huge other part with this whole podcast, is kind of creating, you first got to start creating those cracks and just seeing like a different perspective on things, which
Mhm.
creates a increased level of awareness. And then once you have the awareness, then you can start having the intellectual understanding of certain concepts in perspectives. And then it's about actually embodying it and not stopping at the intellectual, but embodying it, which is something that is a massive thing that we'll talk about. And that is also a big through line for these episodes, is to actually discuss things in such a way that it ultimately becomes embodied in the system, meaning that it drops from your mind into a knowing. And we'll get more into what that exactly means later. But Yeah.
Yeah, I think our society has us so much in our minds. Like we're taught that we need to think about things and then we want to make it, logical and rationalize and all that stuff. And then we forget to listen to our body. We forget, what it even feels like um to be our true selves, for example. And so yeah, we'll talk a bit about how to stop letting the mind rule the show, because like the mind is good for some things, but for a lot of the things that people are making decisions on and just for like being your true authentic self, the mind is not it. The mind is coming from a place of fear and can talk you into or out of anything, but your intuition is actually the truth. And so the other thing I wanted to mention too is just coming from, the health space. I'm certified as a functional nutritionist. I've seen so many people struggle with their health, and it's less of a problem about what they're eating or how they're exercising, and it's more of a result of not being true to themselves and being
Hmm.
out of alignment, not speaking up, not listening to their gut, not listening to their body. And so I think bringing more awareness around that is really key, because we have so many people out there saying, you're doing this wrong, or you need to just do more of this and be more disciplined and all that. And I actually don't even believe that half of that is even true. I think it really is more about when you're living in alignment with your truth, when you're enjoying your life, when you're having fun and you're not so serious. That's when things lighten up and then your body starts to just function how it's supposed to. It's like,
Hmm.
that feels like a miracle, but it's like that simple. It can't be that simple.
Yeah, you know what I just thought of? The
Hmm.
body is like the voice of your subconscious.
Yes.
Like what is going on actually underneath the layers is so like emotionally is
Mhm.
a massive one. It all shows up in the body. And yeah, we'll definitely be digging into intuition, how to tap into the body. That's massive. And I think especially at this current time, we I know a lot of people, a lot of clients of mine in the past, like a lot of friends, we all speak about how there's such a disconnect at the moment with the body. So, especially women, like we're so intuitive and our body is so holds so much wisdom and we're not tapping into it. I mean, and being frank, like I've gone much better at listening to my body, but yeah, I mean, I know that there's still a lot of
Mhm.
things that it's saying that I haven't quite heard yet.
Yep. Yep.
It's just it's a process, it's a journey, and there's a lot going on there. So that's a massive aspect to all of this as well. So yeah, if there's uh topics like let us know what topics you want to hear. Let us know down in the comments what
Definitely. We
topics we
share
can
our
bring up.
Instagram below, so definitely tag us, shoot us a message on Instagram. We'd love to hear from you. What's going on in your world, what topics you want to hear about. We can dive deeper into that in future episodes.